Hello, hello, and good morning. It is wonderful Wednesday, and it is 11:11 activation time, and that is an angel number. That's why I picked this time to go live on Everything Hypnosis with Susie Bowers. So let me ask you a question. Do you ever feel like you are just a victim of circumstances, like things are happening and you're just feeling down and drained and maybe just like overwhelmed and sad and maybe even anxious, having anxiety, like things just don't seem to be going your way? Well, this is a topic of conversation I've been having a lot of lately, especially with my teenage son, who obviously teenagers have their own universe going on and they're trying to figure things out. But we talk about this a lot about how important it is to know what you have control over and be able to let the other stuff go. And so that's basically what I'm going to be talking about with you today. Um, so my good friend, Howard Falco, who I'd interviewed probably 10 years ago on my Blog Talk radio show, he's the author of I Am, which is a really great spiritual book. I'm pretty sure you can get it on Amazon. But anyway, the other day he posted this. So I'm going to share it. Let me get rid of that. Logo there. And let's get rid of it. All right. Here we go. So, what I can control and what I can't. So, this is really a key. I mean, it really is the secret to being happy as often as you want to be. Now, the ego mind often likes to thrive on drama. And sometimes when you're really feeling happy, doesn't it seem like sometimes you sabotage yourself? And, you'll come up with a reason to be annoyed, angry, offended. You ever feel like offended? So that's the ego, which is part of the conscious level of our minds, our personality self. Because when you're really feeling good, I mean, this isn't true for everybody, but I would say a large percentage of us feel this way. It just will seem like random. All of a sudden you'll feel, something will happen and throw you off your peaceful center and take away your joy or suck the joy out of things. So here's the thing I wanted to share with you, because I'm constantly having to remind my teenage son what he focuses on is what he's going to get more of. So the conscious level of our mind, or the ego mind, will often say, well, we're thinking thoughts all day long, right? And I can break this down even more for you, but I'm just going to do a quick synopsis here today, just to give you something to think about, something that you can work on in improving how you feel on a day-to-day basis. So, or moment by moment. Sometimes it's just a momentary thing. Okay, so the ego mind, which is a very small percentage of who we are, it's our personality self. It thrives on drama. It's always judging. It's the rationalizing part of our mind, and it loves to believe it's in control. Well, unfortunately, fortunately, I guess, there's a lot of things we don't have control over. We don't know if it's going to rain or not rain, or, if someone's going to cut us off on the road. We don't have control over those things. We don't, stuff's going to happen sometimes. That's just life. So the secret to this, though, is recognizing what you do have control over and the things that you don't. So you don't let the ego part of your mind get offended and get upset over things that are just out of your control. Okay, I hope this is making some sense. So I love this graphic that Howard posted on his Facebook page the other day. And it's just so good. So it looks like he got it from an educational place as well. It's the data sources there on the graphic. But what I can control and what I can't. So out of my control is the past. The past, right? We can't help what happened in the past. It's already over. And in one of my presentations from years ago, I had a graphic in there with a rear view mirror, and it said, don't dwell on the past, or don't look in the rear view mirror unless that's the direction you want to go. Well, that's over. There's nothing we can do about that. So learn from whatever it is that you experienced so that you can grow and be better. The future, that's another thing. We don't have control of the future. So in the future, you can plan for the future. I say imagine the most spectacular outcome that you want for yourself, because the truth is if you can imagine it, you can create it. So dream big, because you can do it. Sorry, I'm just checking technology. So dream big and imagine your future, how you want it to be. Set your intention and make your plans. Write it down, write your goals down. It's powerful to write it down and then put it up in front of you. But that's different than worrying about the future. Like, oh my God, how am I going to pay this bill? Or, oh, what if I get sick? And hi, thanks for joining me. Good to see you. Good to see you here. How what if I get sick? What if this happens? What if that happens? That's worrying, So when you worry about the future, it creates anxiety. It creates a lot of anxiety. And if you dwell on the past, that's where you get depression from. That's when you feel sad and gloomy, and it drains your energy, because you have to remember our mind and body is all one thing. It's one consciousness. So when we have these kind of thoughts of worry, it affects our energy level. It affects our vibration. It really is about vibration, which, you know what? I'll talk about that on another live, all about frequency, vibration, law of attraction next time. But today I just wanted to focus on this because I thought it was so cool. The other thing we don't have control of is other people. We can't control what other people do, their actions, their behaviors. It took me a long time to figure that out. I always felt like I was responsible for how other people behaved. And I would always say, this is what I think you should do. Then I realized, we're all on our own journey. We're on our own path, wherever that path leads you. And I may see clearly what I think you should do or not do, but that's not my journey. So I don't have control over the actions of others. So that's something, just stay out of that and just bless people and let them be. So again, the other idea, like you're out on the road, I see this all the time, people that I know driving along, and someone cuts you off and all of a sudden you're screaming at them, you're super pissed off. But the truth is we don't know what's going on in their world, in their little universe. They're in their own universe. So we cannot control the actions of others. So if somebody is unkind to you, or your boss or your coworker, hi there, thanks for joining me. It's good to see you here. Your coworkers are being rude or unkind to you, just remember you can't control that. But what you can control is how you react to it. So another thing we can't control, the opinions of others. We don't. People are going to have opinions. Everyone's got an opinion. That's the ego. The ego's full of opinions and judgments all the time, all day long. It's always like it's good, it's bad, it's black, it's white, it's pretty, it's ugly. That's the ego mind, always judging. And we judge ourselves too, with all these thousands and thousands of thoughts we have all day. Oh, my butt's too big, or, I shouldn't eat that cream puff, or, my hair's not shiny enough, or, we're always criticizing ourselves with our judgments. And so pay attention to those opinions. Quit having opinions about everything. If it's not a positive opinion, then let it go, because it's probably not true anyway. It's probably totally untrue. So we also can't control what happens around us, right? Whatever happens around you, there's going to be things going on. That's our life. What other people think, of you, it's none of your business. I love that saying. I heard that from my mother's husband years ago. He says, what other people think of me is none of my business. And that's true. It doesn't matter what they think of you, because they're not living in your universe. They don't really know what's going on in here. They don't know about your past experiences, traumas, relationships, health issues, financial situation. It's no one else's business. And so just keep that in the forefront of your mind. If you're sensitive to what other people think about you, just recognize it's really none of your business what they think about you. You're here to live your life on your purpose. All right. The other one, the outcome of my efforts. That's a big one. That's a big one for me anyway. I don't know how you feel about it, but the outcome of your efforts. So like I said, it's great to plan and to imagine yourself as the person you wish to be, or achieving your goal and feeling really great about it, whether it's a certain amount of income or being healthy, vibrant, and alive, say in 3-6 months from now, or, just imagine yourself. But you can take the steps, you can make the plans, but you can't control the final outcome no matter what. You can set your intention and it can be beautiful. And that's so important that you do. And that you imagine that, just that yummy goodness, whatever it is that you want for yourself. But you have to recognize that you're not going to be able to control the outcome exactly how it is. So be willing to adjust your sales. So John Maxwell, he has a quote I like to use all the time. And I was telling this also to my teenager. I said, the pessimist complains about the wind. The pessimist complains about the wind, right? So you're complaining about something you have no control over. It's the wind. The optimist expects the wind to change. That's a good place to be. That's a good place to be. Expect the wind to change because it will. Everything's always moving and changing. Energy never stops moving. So yeah, you can expect the wind to change. So let's keep that positive outcome or positive idea in your head. Eventually it'll change. Nothing ever stays the same. That's great too. But the third one's my favorite, and that is the leader. The leader adjusts the sails. So the pessimist complains about the wind, the optimist expects the wind to change, and the leader adjusts the sails. So this is cool. And which one are you? I mean, think about that for a minute. Are you the pessimist, the optimist, or are you the leader in your life and in your own thoughts? Because we're always going to be making mistakes. We're always going to have failure. That's part of our growth and learning process. In fact, I don't even believe there's any such thing as failure. And in the neuro-linguistic programming model, there's no such thing as failure. Everything is about our growth and our learning. So you can recognize that things aren't always going to go your way. And then you might have to sit back for a minute and think, wow, and ask really good questions. Ask good questions like, so how can I adjust this to make it better, to move me closer to my goal? All right. So the outcome. And then this one's kind of interesting, how others take care of themselves. And sometimes I know I've gone through this with family members. I'm like, I wish they would take better care of themselves. I wish they would stop drinking or stop smoking or go to the doctor or take these herbal supplements and maybe go have an appointment with an herbal counselor instead of taking a bunch of prescription drugs. So, or exercise more, whatever. We can't control how other people take care of themselves. In fact, we kind of need to leave that alone. We can certainly make a suggestion, but we have to let that one go. The best thing you can do is be the best version of yourself. Be the example of that healthy lifestyle. Be the example of that positive attitude. And when you do that, it lifts everybody up. It's not just good for you, it's good for everyone around you and in your environment. So let's then talk about the things that are actually in your control, things that you can control and be aware of. Your boundaries. My boundaries. Wow. That is a big one. It's taken me years to figure out boundaries with people. And most of that's been my own fault. Some of us, and maybe you can relate to this, some of us feel loved when we're helping others. We get validated by always being there for other people. And I was guilty of that because of my upbringing and my experience growing up. I really felt validated, like I was important and was loved if I'm helping other people with their problems. And honestly, that kind of backfired for me. My daughter's saying hello. That backfired for me a little bit in my life. And then I got into the blaming mode when I didn't feel like people were reciprocating in the same way. They weren't loving me back in the same way I felt I was nurturing and loving them. So that's boundaries, and also holding boundaries for people that take advantage of you. You know, you have control over that. If you feel like someone's taking advantage or they're just pushing your buttons all the time, then you know what? It's okay for you to say, you know what, I love you, but I don't want to hang out with you anymore. I'm going to keep our contact to a minimum. You are not responsible for other people and how they feel. You are not responsible for other people's health and wellness. I got into a debate about this with someone who I really cared about when all the shutdowns and COVID business started happening and all this mask wearing and stuff. It's like, we are responsible for our own health and the way we behave and the way we take care of ourselves. We are not responsible for other people and the way they behave and the way they take care of themselves. This is really an important distinction. Certainly, if you're in a hospital setting and someone's immune system's compromised that you're visiting, you need to be extra special careful and respect their environment. But the rest of the time, we're all responsible for ourselves. We got to take care of ourselves. And I know that that differs from a lot of people's understanding, but something Dr. Wayne Dyer said, I mentored with him for a long time. I studied his programs for a long time. And one of the things he says is we can't get sick enough. We can't feel bad enough. We can't get sick enough to make anyone else feel better or healthy. We can't feel bad enough to make anyone else feel happy. So we are each individually responsible. And this is where you get your power back, is take responsibility for your own experience and your own feelings. Okay, so this is another one. My thoughts and actions, very, very important. My thoughts and actions. This is a tough one. It's a little bit tough at first because we don't realize it, but our thoughts are our own, right? So in the NLP model, it's estimated we think something like 75,000 thoughts every single day. That's a lot of thinking. And remember, I said the conscious ego mind, it's not always very positive. In fact, for some of us, depending on our personality type, our ego mind can bend towards being rather negative, and because we're judging things all the time, right? Especially if we're not feeling good about ourselves. If we're not feeling good about ourselves, then the tendency to judge and have opinions about everyone else gets bigger. It just kind of gets magnified. So catch yourself. If you find yourself being really opinionated and judgy, then maybe you need to stop and do a little inner reflective work and get your own positive attitude, your own confidence level back in line. So your thoughts. So whatever you're thinking, you're going to get more of. This is what I was talking about with my teenager. He's always like, oh, I feel this, I feel that. I go, dude, you got to take back control of your own thoughts and what you're focusing on. So if you're focusing on things that are scary and gloomy, gloom and doom and the end of the world, and what if I can't do this and that, you're going to get more of it. You're just going to keep getting more of it. So it's really important to go, okay, so I call them the stinking thinkings. So here's one. You ever feel like this? Oh, I'm not good enough. Nobody likes me. I don't know why I bother. And then you feel like, and you kind of stay in that stuck little space there. Those are your thoughts. Ask yourself, is it really true? No, it's not true. There's lots of evidence where people like you and care about you. It's just you're in your own head, you're in your own stinking thinking. So now change it. Go, you know what? That's not really true. My friend Sally loves me a lot, and my husband loves me a lot, and my kids love me, whatever it is, and or coworkers, whatever. So change your thoughts, change your life, change your thoughts, and it changes how you feel, because all emotion follows thought. You feel the way you feel because of what you're thinking about. So that is something you actually do have control over. Change your thinking. And one of the ways I do that, let me share a couple things that I do. One is deep breathing. And I think I mentioned this before, but when you do 6 to 10 deep breaths in a row, just really focusing on your body and your breath, it actually causes powerful neurological changes in your brain. And it actually releases brain chemicals of happiness. So that's a great way to change your state. The other thing I'll share with you that I do is I get up and read every morning something positive. So I have one of my favorite book series is the Four Agreements. It has so much good stuff in it. And there's a whole series of them that keep building on each other, including mastering love and relationships and all kinds of stuff. That's one of them. I like to also read Wayne Dyer. I like to read Eckhart Tolle. I like Greg Braden. And there's so many good ones. Abraham Hicks, just stuff that Esther Hicks is amazing. She has so much good advice, and just putting that good, positive stuff in your mind makes a huge difference on a daily basis. Do it every day. First thing when you wake up. Don't turn the TV on, whatever you do. All right. You have power over the goals you set. You have control over what you give your energy to. So it's up to you. I know I like to do a lot of volunteer work. Well, this year I'm like, no, I have backed away. I've been volunteering my time, being on boards and doing things for 20, 30 years. And this is the year I'm like, I kind of need to focus on me, and I can let that be okay. I felt a little weird about it at first because I've just been kind of programming myself about community service. I love doing that. But there comes a point where you can say, I don't want to give my energy to that right now. I'm going to give my energy to my other projects that I've been putting on hold, and I'm not feeling good about it that I put those on hold. All right. So how I speak to myself, it's right back to those thoughts again, thoughts and actions, how I speak to myself, and then how I handle challenges. Remember what I said earlier was that there's no such thing as failure. There's only growth and learning. Failure is a man-made concept that I think kind of we start getting programmed with that when we're going to the school, right? Because we get a grade, we get an A, B, C, D, and F. And so if you don't pass something, you failed. Well, the truth is that when you don't pass something, that's just showing you where you need to improve. Then you got to go back and look at that a little bit more. Or maybe it's just not in your wheelhouse, and that's okay too. Recognize maybe that's just not your thing. That's not what you're gifted at. You're not good at that thing. So for me, I'll be honest, I failed algebra like 50,000 times. It wasn't until I had to go and dig into it and really work at it, I finally passed. But I could have let that defeat me, but I decided not to because I'm good at other things. So I just decided to be happy and proud of myself for the things I was good at. And I looked at the algebra thing and said, okay, this is just something I need to figure out. But the truth is, everything we do in life, we fail at when we first start. Do you remember learning to walk? Probably not. But you've seen your kids, your grandkids, or other people's kids, they fall down a lot. They fall down, they bump their head, they cry, they scrape their knees, they get bruises all over the place, but they never quit. They just keep on going until they succeed. So we fail a lot. If you want to put it in that terms, we fail a lot before we succeed. So don't be so hard on yourself. Sometimes you have to keep trying at something until you get it, and that's perfectly fine. Every day, this is in the 4 agreements. It's the 4th agreement, actually. Every day, just commit to doing your best, whatever your best is for you. Some days your best will be better than other days. So that's okay. Be easy and gentle with yourself. And one of my favorite things I love to share with my clients, actually one of the tools we use in my hypnotherapy program, is to tune into your heart center. Just take some deep breaths and just get into your own heart and just say, I love you. I love you. And you think about all the beautiful things your heart and your body does for you to keep you alive and healthy, and you can think and you can read and you can sing songs or dance, whatever it is that makes you feel happy. Just tell it, I love you. Thank you. I love you. And it shifts everything. It's so powerful. And it's okay if some tears come up, because that happens sometimes. All of a sudden it's like, whoa, this huge emotional energy is released. So anyway, that is all I have today. I hope that this helps you and inspires you to have a fabulous day today. It is Wonderful Wednesday, and you are wonderful. And thank you for tuning in. I'm so happy to see you here. I appreciate you taking your time out. And here, I'm just going to put my name up here. So just in case you forgot, I'm Susie Bowers, and this is Everything Hypnosis. Ignite your hypnotic awesomeness. And I will see you next Wednesday at 11:11 Pacific time. All right. Check out this video. Check out this video I found in my archives here. I thought you might like it while I finish off here. All right. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon. That wasn't the right one. Here we go.